Hi, Chef Dwayne here with MealPro. Today we're going to be working on a fresh asparagus risotto. The ingredients we're going to be using today are asparagus tips, sweet yellow peppers, sweet red peppers, some white wine, arborio rice, a little bit of white onion, garlic, chicken stock, and a little bit of olive oil. People get intimidated by risotto. It's actually quite easy. It just requires a little bit of attention. You start off with pan, and you're going to add your garlic and your onion to it. Make sure your heat is not up too high. You don't want to burn the garlic. Continue sauteing this until the onions are translucent. When they become a little bit clear, that's when you know they're done. Next, we're going to add our arborio rice. Now, this next stage is important for successful risotto. When you add your rice, coat it completely in the oil that's in the pan. You want to coat each grain with as much oil as you can get onto it. And then you want to cook it for a minute or two with just the rice in there. What this is going to do is seal each kernel up with the oil, and it prevents the water or the chicken stock or vegetable stock or whatever you're using from being absorbed too quickly into the grain of rice. So if it helps to think of like lightly browning it almost, just a touch of color on the outside of the arborio rice, that's what you want to go for. I'm moving this around constantly because I want to get the rice coated on each side and make sure it's kind of cooked evenly on each side. When you start to see just a little bit of color coming through on your arborio rice, that's when you want to start to add your liquid. And you want to add your liquid at about half of a cup at a time, okay? Don't add this all at once. So that sound, that sizzle, you should hear that every time you add liquid to your pan. It's going to come to a rapid boil. Now you want to leave it be until the liquid has almost completely evaporated. In cooking, they call this à sec, which translates in French means dry. So you want to get this so the rice is almost completely dry, or à sec, and then add more liquid. Now you can see that almost all of the liquid has completely evaporated from the pan. The rice is almost starting to sear or fry again. Okay, when that happens, that's when you add another half of a cup of liquid, and you're just going to continue doing this over and over again. About a half a cup a time. And you want to make sure that your arborio rice doesn't stick to the bottom of your pan. There's a tendency for the starches to cling onto the bottom of the pan and stick, and you want to make sure you move it so that doesn't happen. I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit at this point. It's still on a medium heat right now. And continue allowing that to reduce, let the liquid evaporate until it's à sec again. And then we're going to repeat the process. But this noise that you're hearing, that's the sound that the risotto starts to make right before you need to add water to it. When it's getting really dry, almost all the liquid is absorbed completely out of it. Okay, that's when you want to add more liquid to it. So again, another half a cup. Make sure your risotto is not sticking to the bottom of the pan. As you get closer to the end of the cook process, the liquid is going to absorb more slowly. So you're going to switch over and start adding maybe about a quarter of a cup at a time with your liquid. And the result of this slow process with the grains of rice having been sealed with the oil first, and then slowly adding the liquid, is it leaches the starch out. That's what gives you that rich, creamy sauce for the risotto. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the cooking process here, so we're going to add our asparagus tips. And we're going to add our sweet peppers, yellow and red. And we're going to stir that around. Now we're going to let a little bit of liquid leach from the vegetables out into the risotto before we add any more. Because as these vegetables sweat, they're going to add some moisture to it. And at this stage, we're going to switch over and we're going to add a little bit of white wine instead of the stock or water that you have been using. So between a quarter and a half a cup of white wine. Now you want to follow the same procedure though. You want to let the liquid completely evaporate out of the risotto. That'll cook and remove all of the alcohol also from the wine and just leave behind the flavor. And continue reducing just like we did before until the sauce starts to thicken. This time you'll see a difference. The sauce will become creamier and thicker. And that's when you'll know that your risotto is done. So we're gonna let that reduce for just another moment. Okay, we're back. We've repeated that process a couple of times, letting the liquid completely evaporate from the dish, adding a little bit more. And what we're left with is this really nice creamy rice risotto with these bright fresh vegetables in it. And we want to take and remove our heat at this point, and it's ready to serve. Risotto makes a great one-dish meal for your family. It's healthy, easy to make if you just pay attention to it. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe.